Hi again, everyone. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Live Trace in Illustrator. And I'm going to trace this image of a guitar. So I'll create a new file, and I'm going to make it 11 by 8.5. And I've already saved the image to the desktop, so I'll choose File and Place. You want to place your image, not paste it. As soon as I choose Place, I can navigate to my desktop. I have saved the image sometime shortly ago. There we go. And click Place, and I will click and drag to locate the image on the page. Looks a little small, but I think it will do. In fact, actually, I think what I'll do is rotate it. So I'm going to press the R key for rotate and click and drag, holding the Shift key. That's a strange angle. Let's go this way instead. And that's kind of neat. I like that. All right, so I'm going to switch to the Scale tool by pressing the letter S and click to set an origin point, and then click and hold the Shift key down and drag. Maybe I should rotate again a little more, so I'm going to rotate. First I'm going to move it. V for the Move tool, and then R for the Rotate tool, and then S for the Scale tool, and click and hold the Shift key. Let's move it up a little, and I think that's fine. So I'm going to click away, and that's what I have to trace. Now, when the image is not selected, you don't see the tracing options in the control panel, but when you click on the object, the photo in your image, you do see the tracing, and you can use some of the presets here, such as shades of gray. And it's going to take a moment to process here. When you use the presets, you're getting some generalized setting which you may or may not end up liking, but it's interesting to take a look that is actually a drawing now. That's no longer a photo. And I'm going to press the Z key to zoom in and click a couple times here and show you that we have some pretty crazy shapes there creating this grayscale guitar. I'm going to zoom back out and Command Z to return to the original image. And this time I'm going to open up the Live Trace panel. Instead of using a preset, let's see here, I want to open up my image trace settings. Here's image trace, make and expand. Don't want that. I want edit. Window. Image trace, image trace. Right, so the image trace dialog box is what I need to open. It's now closed. I had it open, and then there it is. So there's the image trace dialog box. Now with this dialog box, again, that was window and image trace, and this is the box. With this, I can set a lot of different specific settings to customize the way this guitar is going to trace instead of using a preset. So first of all, I want to point out that I do have the advanced settings open. There's a little triangle here for expanding and contracting your settings. And I'm going to make the threshold of color a little less here. And paths, corners, I'm going to have less corners. And color-wise, I'm going to use a color setting. And the number of colors, instead of 30, I'm going to limit it down to about, let's say, 15. Now, oddly, if you click on Preview, it seems to be doing the same thing as clicking on Trace. You can also have it ignore white. In this case, I don't think that's a good idea because I have this white details on this guitar, but if I had an image that did not have a white background, this would work. In any case, I'm going to leave the white as it is, not ignoring it. And let's see what I create. If I click on preview, this is really a few colors, 15. It's kind of a low setting. And even though this slider over here says 30, you can increase the number of colors by typing in this field. The slider only goes up to 30, but you can customize that by typing. Okay, so now we're seeing what kind of different art I've got here. So this is a lot more to my liking. It looks a lot more like an illustration. It's really not finished yet. I can click off of preview and reduce the number of colors here from 15 down to, let's say, 10, and preview on again, and it will re-render the image. It's kind of doing an interesting job with the shadow here. I would actually like some of these lines to be a little smoother and less jagged, but that's a characteristic. This kind of jaggediness here is kind of a characteristic of Illustrator tracing. That's getting closer to what I would like this to look like. I am going to try and smooth this a little bit here. We have snap curves to lines. We have the amount of noise, which is some kind of change up in the coloration between colors. Corners less. Let's see what happens if I have corners less. And again, with a change in setting, the image is going to re-render. So this will probably be pretty close to what I want. It's going to be more stylized. Actually, it looks really similar to me. Okay, so I think that now I'm just going to lower the colors a little bit more. If I click off of preview and reduce this color setting to, let's say, 8. Turn this back on again. Let's see what we have. And yeah, I think that's about right. Has more of a stylized look to it. And at this point, it's done. It's traced. I can just close the image trace dialog box. If I want to customize any of these shapes in any other way, such as using the smooth tool or pen tool or change colors, UI will want to do the following, which is tell this object to expand, which now breaks away one level of grouping, and then in fact ungroup. Now when I click away with the regular selection tool, all these little shapes should deselect. Seem to be having a redraw problem here. Oh, there we go. And if I switch to the direct selection tool, these objects are now individual shapes. And I could do something like, well, first of all, I better save it. And I'll save it as, and to my desktop as blue guitar. And that is all good. I'm going to come over to the pencil tool and get my friendly smooth tool and run that along the edge of this jaggedy looking shadow. These are too many points. Just feel that looks awkward. So I'm going to smooth that out. Still a little weird, but better. All right, so at this stage, I am more or less happy with it for the time being. I will click away, and again, waiting for this to deselect here. This white, actually, I think I have a big white panel in the background here, so I'm going to delete that and see what happens. Yep, that went away. And here I might want to smooth this a little bit more too, just to show you that that white background that was created when I traced, because I did not ignore white, was actually still part of the image. And now it actually does not have a rectangle or a square of white around the outside of these shadow areas. And that's about it. So that is the tracing tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it.